Yo, 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 what's going on, people? Yes, indeed. RC, my guy, salute, salute. What's going on, bro? Yes, indeed, y'all. Welcome back to the channel. It's Jay Jordan here, and today it's going to be a little different than the usual. As we all know, last time I was live, it was the WNBA draft. WNBA draft. That was about 2 weeks ago to the day. And today, I felt like since training camp started, Damien, what's going on? Salute to you. Since training camp has started yesterday actually, I went through and I compiled a list of all the different teams, especially the Liberty, because it's Liberty gang over here. But I went through all the teams and I listed all the training camp rosters, and we're gonna go through and see what players will make the cut for each team. So make sure you grab your snacks, grab your drinks. I got my water here, I got some candy here, and we're gonna get into it. Daniel, what's going on? Salute, blessings, love, all that. RC says, I've been watching training camp clips, footage, and everything I could find. Same, bro. I've been scouring the internet, trying to find as many clips as I can find. You can see Indiana has been really on top of it. Of course, they have this new fan base. They're trying to feed them as much content as possible. New York has put out a few. What's another team that's been doing pretty well? I've seen some Chicago. I've seen some LA. Minnesota's been doing well as well. All the teams are doing fairly well so far. So we're going to get right into it, starting off with the New York Liberty. Hope you guys can see that. Let me know in the chat if I need to zoom in some more. But we're going to start off with the Liberty. So for the starting five for the Liberty, we got Courtney Vandersloot, Sabrina Ionescu, Benija, Brianna Stewart, and Jonquel Jones. That's the same starting five from last year. There's not going to be any changes there. Everybody is back. They have a year under their belts. If you're new or if you're old, as you know, the Liberty lost in the finals to the Aces. So that was their first year together. So they're figuring if we can come back with this new continuity we have, this should be a different outcome this year. So nothing's changed in the starting five. If we go down to this next couple roster spots, that's where things get really interesting. So we got Kayla Thornton. That's a definite. That's on the team. She re-upped a new 2-year contract for this year and next year. Kennedy Burke. She was drafted, I think, around 2018, 2019. Went overseas, improved her game, got better. She's been playing in France this year. Her team made it. I think they won third place in EuroLeague. Third or second place in EuroLeague. So shout out to them. And she's on a protected contract. So she's going to be on the roster. 6'1" guard/forward. She can pretty much do it all. So she'll be a good asset for the Liberty to have on the roster. Niara Sabli, another one of the Liberty players. She was our 5th or 6th overall pick 2-3 years ago. She was hurt her first year. She came last year, but she didn't get to play as much. She was behind Steph Dolson in the rotation. And she went overseas this year, went to play in the Czech Republic. Her team was also in EuroLeague. I think they were the third place game. They ended up winning third place in EuroLeague. And she should be back, I think, in the next day or two. Her team in the Czech Republic, where she was playing, they won their local championship for their league. So salute to Niara. So she should be in training camp in the next few days or so. I think they said she should be back tomorrow. So we'll see about that. You see where I have this line under Kennedy Burke. That's where things get interesting. The Liberty only have, as of today, they only have space for 3 players. They're going to have to do some cat magic to get 12. A total of 12, but they only have space for 3 to get to 11. Damien says in the chat, he's nervous about the roster. Let me see. Add this here. Damien says, I'm nervous about the roster because they blew up not drafting Nika Moole, who could have been the future, but how will Brundow give the bench playing time, especially when facing the Aces? So that's interesting, Damien. So we're going to touch on that. So what was our weakness in the finals? We didn't have good um, guard defense, a good wing defense in general. Besides Benijah and sometimes Kayla, Vandersloot and Sabrina are not what you would call good defenders. So, what did Jonathan say after the finals? He was like, we need to get more athletic. We need to get long, rangy wing defenders, two-way players that could really help us in the future. So he went out and drafted Marquisha Davis. We got her with the 11th pick. Oh yeah, RC. Yeah, I didn't even mention that. That's crazy. I'm gonna touch on that in a bit. Salute to Candace Parker. Marquisha, we went and got her. She's 6 foot, out of Ole Miss. From what I've seen, I scoured YouTube, whatever I could find to find any footage on her. If you remember during the draft, I was like, I'm not familiar with her game. Word to Shaquille O'Neal, if you know, you know. But but from what I found, she's very athletic, played really good defense. The only weakness that I really saw in her game is that she's not a prolific 3-point shooter. She didn't really take too many, but those that she did take, I think she was shooting in the mid 20% from 3-point range. But she got downhill, she got to the basket, she feasted on the mid range, played solid defense. She had the ball in her hand a lot at Ole Miss this last year. And from what I've seen in the training camp videos, she's been really attacking the basket, getting out on the breaks. Sloot's been finding her. So I'm excited to see how that translates. So I think Marquisha is a now player, and she's going to be on the team in the next few weeks. Now, these next few players, Leonie Fabich. For those who don't know, we acquired her rights about a year or two ago. She's a German, so she's a German international. She's teammates with Niara Sabali for the German national team. She's playing over in Spain right now, so she's not even at training camp yet. She's still playing in the playoffs, the Spanish league playoffs over there. So she's not, if her team actually wins, she probably won't be here till next week if she decides to stay with the team all the way through the whole run. She was the Spanish League MVP, so we're getting a very solid player. She shot mid 40s from 3-point range. She's 6'4". She plays good defense. She can handle the ball, and that's what Jonathan was trying to address in the offseason, getting these long, rangy, multifaceted players that Sandy has the ability to mix and match in different spots. And Leonie fits that bill. So we're looking forward to seeing her. She's 24 years of age, so she's young. I can't wait for her to come to camp, whether that's next week or whenever she finishes over in Spain. Now this last spot, this 11th spot, this is my personal opinion. This is not any factual information from the team. I like Jessica Carter at that 11th spot. Looking at the chat, Damien says Ivana Dojkic is not a point guard, she's a shooting guard. That is true. I was looking at her assist numbers. They weren't eye-popping. RC says, I sure hope Breanna Stewart got some kind of rest this offseason. Knowing her, though, she probably played all offseason. No, from what I saw, I don't think she went overseas. She played it super low-key. She was excited for camp. She looks good in camp. I mean, everybody sort of looks good in camp. Legs are fresh and all that. So we'll see how Sandy manages the minutes, and I'll touch on that because she did allude to that in her press conference after training camp yesterday or today. But back to the roster, this 11th spot with Jessica Carter. From what I saw from Niara Sabali over in Europe, she played a lot of the four. She played the 4 position, and Ezzy Magbagor, who plays for the Seattle Storm, was on that team. She played the 5, and she thrived in that 4 role when there's another big behind her. I guess Sandy will try and test and see how she does playing Dom 5 during like all our preseason games to see how she can manage with the 5s in this league. But it will be interesting to see what the decision is there. I've been watching Jessica Carter highlights and tape from the moment we drafted her. She has a nice 12 to 15 foot mid-range jump shot, good on defense, protecting the paint, very athletic, gets up and down the floor, block shots. So at that spot, I like what I see from her being the backup big. If you remember last year, we had Jonquel as the starter, then we had Steph Dolson, and we had Han Shu, who barely played. So if we go along those same lines, I think the team will go with another big, just in case. When it comes to Ivana Dojkic, she played with the Storm and then sort of like bailed on them. I don't know what happened there. That was sort of weird. I don't know what the agreement was there, but the Storm weren't doing well last season, and she asked to be released. So from what I did see from her, she hit the three at a decent clip. She got to the lane. She played sort of point guard, but she had a couple assists, a couple nice assist games, but nothing too eye popping. Plus she wasn't getting too many minutes, so it's hard to judge. But she's another one that's playing overseas, and she won't be back until later this week, probably next week. So it'll be interesting to see if they go with guards or they go with a big. Okako Adika, who we drafted last year in the 3rd round. I haven't seen anything really about her. I don't think, unfortunately, she'll make the team. Same with Brianna Fraser. She's from Brooklyn. Salute Brooklyn. But I don't think she'll make it. Jalen Sherrod is the other person that people have been talking about. Jalen Sherrod, out of Colorado, 5'7". We signed her right after the draft. I don't know. It'll be tough. It'll probably be between her and Dojkic if they do decide to go guard. But we shall see. I'm not too sure what they decide to do there, but they must have signed her for a reason. They saw something in her that they liked. As Mary Martinez, the Dominican, from what I've been seeing in training camp, people have been saying she has a lot of energy. She communicates. So we shall see what happens with Esmeri Martinez. It's unfortunate that there's not a lot of roster spots for these talented players to make it. So it's going to really be a fight to the finish in that regard. Stephanie Mawuli is like a Liberty veteran training camp player. Like, she was there last year. I think she was there the year before. She's still overseas, so she hasn't even made it to the team yet. And Rita Igboke, I think she was at Ole Miss with Marquisha Davis. They signed her to a training camp contract. Unless she pops in training camp, I don't really see her making the roster. Damien says in the chat, I've heard about Sherrod. She could do damage on both ends. Yeah, I was watching some game tape on her. She's a live wire. She was able to get to the paint, playing really good defense. The 3-point percentage was low, just like Marquisha's, compared to some of the other guards. But if she can really make an impact on that end, she may have a shot. It'll be interesting to see. So the 11 that I have here is who I think will make it. The quote did come out after training camp today, from Jonathan Kolb. Let me see if I can remember exactly what it was. I think I have it here. The quote was, Jonathan Kolb says the Liberty plan to leave camp with 11 players and hopefully add a 12th this summer, potentially from their training camp cuts. He says, quote, we're planning to have some leftover cap room, and if we can, knock on all the wood you can, stay out of the hardship territory, we'll be able to add a 12th. So that's what this is for as well. Probably early July, or depending on who it is post-Olympics. Danny asks, are you going to cover all the team's rosters? Yes, sir. I'm going to get into every team's rosters right after the Liberty right here, right after I finish up with the Liberty. So he says, Jonathan Cope says, quote, we'll start with 11 and we're going to hope for a 12th. We can go as early as July 6th. If it's a player who's played 0 to 2 years, we can go at July 6th. July 14th is if the players play 3 years or more. So basically he's saying we're going to start off with 11. After or during the Olympic break, we're going to see what the market is out there, see if we can maneuver some money around. And if we're able to add a 12th, then we'll do it. depending on who's on the market. If not, then we'll just go with the squad that we have. So we'll see what happens there with the Liberty. If it goes the way I have it here, I'm fairly confident that she's going to rely on the bench, will get everybody up to speed, and will make another run for the finals. That's just hoping and praying. RC says, I really wish these rosters could carry at least 13 players. Yeah, that would be super helpful, bro. And Damien says, if Sabrina Ionescu doesn't step up and show out in the playoffs, then the Aces will go for a three-peat. Yeah, that's true as well. Everybody has to be on their best. Everybody has to come back better than they were last year. They must have learned from this experience. They've been through the fire together now. Like when Kelsey Plum was saying they don't care about each other. She was really saying that we haven't been through that together. And I guess when things got tough, we fell back into bad habits. Even though it sounded crazy. RC says, post what RC was saying. He says, Sherrod plays like she can't rein herself in sometimes. Shocked that no one considered drafting her. Yeah, I saw those critiques about her as well. Sometimes people were saying we should have went from her, but there was a reason why she didn't make it in the draft. Well, nobody drafted her, so everybody can't be wrong. Well, possibly everybody could have been wrong, but more likely than not all the teams didn't pass on her for no reason. It probably didn't fit their need, or her skill set just didn't match with what they were going for. Before I leave the Liberty, last things I wanted to touch on, because people have been asking about it on socials. Hanshu, she is overseas. She's a restricted free agent. She's not coming over this year. Marine Johannes, likely not to come over this year. She's focusing on the Olympics for France. And maybe after that, I guess, with that extra money, if Jonathan Kolb could find it, whatever he was saying, she may or may not, but I wouldn't hold my breath on her coming over. Rebecca Garner, we have her on the roster. She's not counting towards anything. She is with the team, though. I did see her in the training camp video in a boot. She tore her ACL in February, and she's going to be with the team starting in 2025. And Caitlin Davis, I think she was the 3rd round pick we drafted. She's going to be playing in Mexico this year, so she's not a part of this training camp roster. RC says Sab and Caitlin both need to figure out who wants to take the ultimate defensive challenge this year. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who decides. I think just Caitlin has more upside, but we shall see how her first game goes. Her first preseason game is on Friday against Dallas, I believe. I probably will be doing a watch along if that game is on League Pass. So stay tuned for that. You see the Discord QR code there. If you can join the Discord, I'll be posting when I'm going to go live in there way before it comes up on YouTube. We can discuss all WNBA stuff. I have a list of all the teams in there that we can discuss. So make sure you follow that. All right. Let's touch on Atlanta, the Atlanta Dream. Atlanta made a big splash. Well, I guess you could call it big. A big splash in this offseason. They acquired Jordan Canada from the LA Sparks. They traded away Ari McDonald and Monique Billings and a 1st round pick to get Jordan Canada. But the reports are that she's hurt her hand. They haven't been really specific about what the deal is with the hand. They haven't given a timetable. They haven't said if it's broken or anything. So I'm not too sure what to make of that. Damien says in the chat, Benai Laney should help Sabrina on how to defend since Sabrina doesn't want to be liable defensively. Yeah, some things are you're able to be taught, and some things are it's just your genetics, your not genetics, but like your body type. Like Benija, bigger player, rangy, her foot speed is up there. Sabrina, even when she's on offense, when she's driving, she's just like she's slow. Like she's not the quickest player. And defense is all about athleticism and quickness and smarts when it comes to that. It's a combination of those things. So she can teach her as much as she can, but the mind can be willing, but the body sometimes is just unable. Something my mom used to say. When it comes to the Atlanta Dream lineup, Jordan Canada, Alicia Gray, Ryan Howard. Nia Coffey is where I was a little interested to hear people's opinions. I'm not super familiar with Atlanta, but I did watch a couple games. I know Nia Coffey did start some games for them last year. Monique Billings was in that spot. So it's interesting. I don't know who they'll go with at that power forward. Do they go with Cheyenne Parker at the 4 and put Tina Charles, who they just acquired, at the 5? I don't know what Atlanta's decision is there. So that's going to be interesting. But for now, I have Nia Coffey at the 4 just for the continuity reasons, and Cheyenne Parker at the 5. The players in bold, I forgot to mention, the players in bold are the ones who are like protected contracts / they're too good to get dropped. So just keep that in mind. Tina Charles, they just acquired this offseason. I think she didn't have a team last year. She played overseas and now she's back. Salute the legend. Aerial Powers was in Minnesota last year. Didn't really play too much. I think towards the end they gave her a couple minutes here and there, but she's just a gunner. She's somebody who likes to get to the basket and shoot. Letitia Amahir, they drafted her last year. It'll be interesting to see if she sticks, but I believe she will. Naz Hillman was on the team last year. They just signed her or like re-upped her deal. So if they drop her, I read, it's interesting. She's not guaranteed money this year if she gets dropped, but she's guaranteed money next year. Her money's protected next year. So if they drop her, they won't pay her next year, but they'll have to pay her. They won't pay her this year, but they'll have to pay her next year, which is why I think she won't get dropped. And Haley Jones. Haley Jones played a little bit of point for the Dream last year when Ari McDonald was hurt. She's a bigger body. I think if Jordan Canada can't go for the start, Haley Jones will slot into that starting point guard position. Now when it comes to their bench, not their bench, their training camp contracts. Nadia Poch and Isabel Borlas, the two Australians they drafted this year, are not reporting to camp and they won't be with the team this year. So don't expect to see them. They drafted them for the future. They drafted the two Australians for the future. Ileana Rupert, the French woman, her contract is suspended. She's not coming over this year. She's probably prepping for the Olympics as well. And Matilda Villa, I think she's Italian. They drafted her. She's not in training camp, but they haven't ruled out her reporting this year. So that's a weird situation there. So put it like this. Everybody who the Dream drafted this year probably not going to play. They're not even coming over to this country. Damien, yeah, so I answered RC's question, excuse me. Now, when it comes to these players down here for the Dream, I'm going to be honest with you. I know maybe 2 or 3. Khadija Cave, I've seen her name before. Lorella Kubai, the Liberty drafted her about 2 years ago and sent her down to Atlanta. And now she's going to try and make the team there. Elizabeth Balogun, not familiar with her. Galia Hillsman, she's a center, which is what I think the Dream need, another center to help out. Taja Cole, they just signed her to a training camp contract. And Destiny Henderson, as we know, the South Carolina Gamecock, she was with Indiana, was with the Sparks on hardship contract, and now she's on a training contract with the Dream. So I think the Dream can fit up to 12 players on the roster. They have enough money to do so. So they have 2 more open spots. I think Destiny Henderson makes one. And I think Lorella Kubai makes it as well. So I think Destiny Henderson, Lorella Kubai, I'm going to just put them up here just for us to see. I think these 2 will make it. What are your thoughts on that? Anybody have any Atlanta Dream fans here? Y'all are pretty top heavy. I know that you gotta have a three-headed monster with Jordan, Alicia, and Ryan. You have a solid point guard with Jordan. I think she was most improved last season. So it'll be interesting to see how that camaraderie works out, that teamwork works out. Their bench is where I think they'll struggle a little bit. So they might have to stagger the starters' minutes. Thank you. Love me or let me leave. Add that to the broadcast. She says, I think Tina may start. We need to size in the starting lineup. Okay, thank you. So does Tina start at the center? Cheyenne moves to the 4. RC, be nice, man. I mean, he's right, but RC says, unfortunately, Atlanta is not going to win anything. Yeah, they're a solid team. I think Atlanta's gonna hover around the same place they were last year. Okay, she says Tina at center. We move Cheyenne up to the 4. Okay, I like that. I'm gonna search that here because I was thinking along those same lines. So let's move Cheyenne up to the 4, and let's put Tina at the 5. I like that, and we'll put Nia Coffee back down here. Boom. I like that. Cool. So we'll see what the Dream do. That'll be interesting how that works out. Hopefully Jordan Canada is ready to go, so they don't have a slow start to the season. RC says Cheyenne is 5. Yeah, I love watching Cheyenne play. She plays with heart. She could really score from anywhere on the floor. So I hope has a good season, but just not against the Liberty. All right, so that's Atlanta. We're gonna move on to the Chicago Sky. Love Me or Leave Me says Dream will be a top 4 or 5 team. You really think so? When we get to the end, we're gonna have an evaluation of where we think teams will end up in the standings. Because Dream top 4 or 5, you got some teams that really up their game, but I can see them in that 4 to 6 range. I think I might agree with you. I'll put them at a 5. I'll put them at a 5. But let's touch on the Chicago Sky. All right. Chicago had 2 picks in the first round, excuse me. They went with Camila Cardoso and Angel Reese. My starting 5 projected. I need y'all help with this as well. So Dana Evans at the point. I was thinking about this. Dana started 1 game last year. Courtney Williams off to Minnesota. She was the point guard last year. But I don't know about Dana or Lindsay. Lindsay Allen was in Minnesota last year. Had a pretty solid season. Now she's with Chicago. Does Dana start or does Lindsay start? What is Teresa Witherspoon, salute the Liberty legend? What is she going to go for in that starting point guard role? Does she want Dana's ability to shoot the 3, drive in the paint, dish it off? Or does she want Lindsay's veteran presence to make sure that the bigs get the ball? So that is the catch-22 I was thinking of. Yeah, Daniel says Dana is a baller. Yes, she is. She definitely is. And she's been with the team for a bit now. So I think they should reward her with the starter, but it's a different coaching staff. So it should be interesting. I'm seeing Love Me or Leave Me. Daniel says Dana should start. Okay. I'm going to take that into consideration. We already know who's starting at the 2, Marina Mabry. She was there last year. She's going to have the ball in her hand a majority of the time like she did last year as well. The 3 I was thinking about, I was like, do they want to go big or what do they want to do? So I was thinking Isabel Harrison, if they wanted to go to that big lineup. Isabel can 3-level score, can score from anywhere. This is another one I was thinking about, Elizabeth Williams. They're paying her a lot of money. Do they want to pay her a lot of money to come off the bench or to start? She's shorter than Camila, so that's why I had Camila Cardoso thrusted into the starting lineup at the 5. But at that 4 spot, there's some wiggle room there. I know they're definitely not going to start both Camila and Angel at the same time. They may do it in preseason, but when the season starts, I don't believe those 2 will be starting side by side. So I don't know. Love Me or Leave Me says Dana should start and put Michaela at the 3. I did see somebody mock up a starting lineup and had Michaela at the 3 as well. I like Michaela. Salute. Liberty Rookie of the Year when she was here. Very solid player. Michaela at the 3. So who goes at the 4? That is my that is my question. RC says Angel Reese can't be coming off the bench. She's a pogo stick with tons of hustle and energy, but maybe it's not her time yet. That's my thing. All right, Love Me or Leave Me says Izzy at the 4. So we have Michaela at the 3, Izzy at the 4, Cardoso at the 5, and then Elizabeth Williams coming off the bench. I know we don't like to think so, but money does play a part in these things. Money does play a part in these things. Let me look at, I got the Chicago Sky money situation up here. Elizabeth Williams is owed $135,000. She's the 4th highest paid player on the team. Plus her money is guaranteed, so they can't drop her either. I know we don't like to think so, but money does play a part in these decisions. But I could see it with Teresa just saying, well, people don't expect us to win anyway. Let's just go younger. So let's see this. If we put Isabel at the 4, let's move Michaela up to the 3. See how that looks. Move Elizabeth down. And put Isabel there. So we have Dana, Marina, Michaela, Isabel, and Camila Cardoso as a starting 5. Okay. Let's take a look at the rest of the team and make evaluations from there. We have Diamond DeShields. She's back in Chicago. We have Lindsay Allen that I mentioned before. Angel Reese, the newly drafted player from LSU. Brianna Turner. Remember, they have Brianna Turner, got traded in the Kalia Copper trade with Michaela over from Phoenix. And, of course, Elizabeth Williams, who we just talked about. They have a bunch of forwards on this team, a bunch of bigs on this team. It's going to be tough for, like, just minutes-wise. I don't know how that's going to work, but good luck, Teresa, on finding it out. From what I saw, Chicago has enough space for 12 players. Daniel says Kennedy makes the team. Okay, let's see. So they have Brenna Maxwell. They talked about her highly, 3-point shooter. They really talked about her, so we'll see about her. Kennedy Carter, as we know, I think she played for LA. Who else she played for? Did she play for Atlanta at a point? She just hasn't been able to stick on a team for some reason. Kaiser Gunzedrick. She was drafted by Indiana about 2-3 years ago. She was like a top first round pick. Like, I think she was like 7th, 8th pick or something like that, if I remember correctly. And then midway or before the season even started, she asked for a leave of absence due to some personal issues and hasn't played a minute since. Now she's trying to make her return. So more power to her. Hope everything is figured out in her life, and good luck on trying to make the team. Tyra Ramir, she's a forward, and Robin Parks played with Chicago last year. So, what do we think? If they have 2 more spots, who makes it? Daniel says Kennedy, and the GM talks really highly of Brenna Maxwell. So I'm thinking Kennedy. They have an abundance of forwards, so unfortunately for Robin, I don't think Robin would make it. Did they renounce her rights? Let me see. Robin Parks. I don't see her here. Maybe they did. Let me check on their training camp roster here. I thought I updated that. Let's see. Chicago Sky roster. Okay. So that makes it much easier. I don't see her name on the roster. They didn't release an official training camp roster. I just went on ESPN and her hoop stats to try and find it. So that makes the decision even easier. Let's take Robin Parks off. Thanks for the tip. Love. So that makes it easier. So I'm going Brennan Maxwell and Kennedy. That's who I think will make it. So they add 2 more guards. I should have copied that. Copy these over. Yeah, so that gives them 2 more guards because to the abundance of bigs that they have. Sorry to Kaiser, but I don't think you make it. And entire Ramir, I don't think you make it as well. They Love Me says they might keep Kaiser for the clout. I don't know if they want that clout. Ain't her ex or current boy? I don't know if they're still together. Kevin Porter, he over in overseas after they had that whole domestic situation. So I don't know if they want that type of clout. But she does have a solid social media following. So you never know. Some teams they're thinking with the money, and some teams are thinking about the play. So I wouldn't be shocked, but I doubt it. Before we leave the Chicago Sky team, just wanted to touch on the other players here. Nicolina Milic, she was I think acquired from Minnesota. She's not reporting this year, so she's not going to be a part of the team this season. And Maria Conde, her contract is suspended at this moment, so she won't be here either. So just to recap, Chicago Sky, we have Dana Evans, Marina Mabry, Michaela Onyenwere, Isabel Harrison, and Camila Cardoso as the starting 5. I think that's okay. It's not making no noise, but it'll be interesting to see. That's how I think it'll start. And as the season progresses, they'll be like, all right, this ain't working. Let's try something else. But we shall see. All right. Moving on. We got the Connecticut Sun. The Connecticut Sun. They didn't have really a super big offseason in regards of acquiring big names. They just got people back. So they did get Mariah Jefferson from the Phoenix Mercury. They traded her in the Rebecca Allen trade. I'm glad Rebecca Allen is not on this coast anymore. I miss her, ex-Liberty player, long-rangey defender, just hits threes. She was hitting threes against us in the playoffs, locking up Sabrina and whoever else. It was tough, but she's over in Phoenix now. So I have Mariah Jefferson at the point. Ty Harris, they got a starter. The way she played the second half of the season last year was incredible. Her jump shot was working. She was getting to the paint. So I think they have to. I don't think they have to, but I think they should start Ty Harris. Anybody have any critiques or any other explanations for who they should start at the 2? DeWanna Bonner is back. They re-signed her in the offseason. We knew she wasn't going anywhere. She wasn't going to leave her boo, Alyssa, over in Connecticut by herself. It was just a matter of getting that signed. What Daniel says, I think Shea Petty makes the final roster spot. Good veteran presence. We shall see. She was also signed on the training camp contract as well. Love Me says, I agree. Start Ty Harris. She's definitely earned it. Definitely earned it. I was very impressed with her that second half of the season when she was getting the minutes. So we touched on DeWanna. Alyssa Thomas, of course, MVP candidate last year. And Brianna Jones back from where she tore. Was it her ACL or there was Achilles, I think. Brianna Jones tore her Achilles. She should be back to start. Love Me asks, do they have the cap space for 12? No, I think I have the line. Yeah, the line here, I have it at 11. I think according to her hoop stats, they have the room for 11. 12 if they do like some crazy maneuvering, dropping people. But as of now, they only have room for 11 on the roster. So it's going to be some tight cuts. Also, just if you're just joining, the bold means that they're guaranteed contracts / they not getting dropped. So let me bold up DeWanna Bonner. So these people are guaranteed pretty much to be on the roster, or else the team is going to be paying them not to be. Looking at the bench here, Tiffany Mitchell, they acquired from Minnesota. Yeah, Tiffany Mitchell and Rachel Banham, they both acquired from Minnesota. in that trade. They traded away Natisha Heidemann and somebody else. But they're over there. They're here now over in Connecticut. Astu Indoor, she's a center. And Dejanay Carrington, been with Connecticut her whole career, I believe. And Olivia Nelson-Ododa, she was another one that played really well after Brianna Jones went down. She started getting minutes. She was very serviceable at that center position. So I believe these 10 are going to make it. They only have space for maybe one more contract. So who makes that final spot? That is going to be the question here. So we have Shea Petty, a guard. Let's look how many guards they have. They have Tiffany Mitchell, Rachel Banham, Mariah, and Ty Harris. So they already have 4 guards. Do they go with Shea Petty as that 5th guard? We'll see who else is on here. Jocelyn Willoughby, ex-Liberty player. Salute to Jocelyn. They signed her on a training camp contract. Kiana Smith. RC says, Jay, they got rid of my favorite players. Oh man. You got Rania Davis as a forward. You got Tiana Jackson. They just drafted the rookie. I see Love Me's advocating for Tiana Jackson. Helena Puello, a guard. She's another rookie they drafted this year. Sydney Wise and Leia Brown. I think Leia Brown's a guard, if I remember. I think I remember seeing her play a little bit last year. If you're worried about the other draft picks, they did Layla Lacan. I didn't see her on the training camp roster for some reason. She may be not coming over this year. And Abby Sue, that they drafted in like the 3rd round, she's probably she's not coming to the team. They're gonna retain her rights, but she's not reporting to training camp. Looking at the comments after us, RC says Rebecca Allen, they got rid of her. She's one of my favorites. Yeah, I loved Rebecca. She just kept getting hurt when she was with us. That was the only thing. Love Me. Thank you for that tip. She's not coming over. She's only 19. Makes sense. And Daniel says Jocelyn can give the team good minutes, plays with great energy. Her only thing, Daniel, is if she can stay healthy. When she was with us, she was recovering from a knee injury. She didn't get too many minutes. But it's interesting to see. And RC says Rachel Banham is nice. Yeah, Rachel Banham, they really just use her as a shooter. She's really just a shooter. So I haven't seen her play like traditional point guard, but I don't watch a lot of Minnesota. In the past, I watched recently with Diamond Miller and Nafisa and all them and Dorka, but I didn't see a lot of Rachel dishing the ball off. So for that final spot, who we thinking? I saw Jocelyn. I saw Shea Petty. I saw Tiana Jackson. They already got Olivia Nelson. They got Astu Indoor. And they got Brianna Jones. So they got 3 bigs there. Do they go with another big in Tiana Jackson? Do they go with a forward, a guard? Let's see what we looking at here. I'm looking at the money situation here. Don't know. I honestly don't know. Tiana Jackson at the center. She's going to be on the pecking order behind Olivia Nelson-Ododa. I don't know. Jocelyn at the forward, somebody who's content with not getting too many minutes. She didn't play a lot for the Liberty, so I don't know. I'm going to put Jocelyn. Just for now, I'm going to put Jocelyn. We'll see what happens there. But I'm going to put Jocelyn Willoughby, just my Liberty bias, I guess, kicking in here. But I'll put Jocelyn as that final spot. And I guess if they could work the money out, they could figure out the rest. All right. Any questions, comments, concerns on the Connecticut Sun? Any other tips? All right. RC says everyone hit. Yeah, word. Listen, I'm gonna put that up, RC. I'll be forgetting to say that. Yeah, what RC says, y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you're just joining, I started this channel last year to cover the Liberty and some of the W. Ended up being a Liberty and a lot of the W channel. I did a lot of watch alongs for other teams. We covered the playoffs. It was an exciting time. RC, salute to you, bro. RC was there from damn near the beginning. And I will be doing a watch along on Friday. If the game is supposed to be on League Pass for the Indiana Fever Dallas Wings game. That game starts at 8 p.m. Eastern. So I will be doing a watch along. For those who can't access it, it's only going to be on League Pass, not national TV. So I will be keeping you guys updated with the score, play by play. I will not be showing the game on the screen. I know a lot of people during the draft were asking me to put the draft on the screen, but that's against YouTube, Twitch, wherever, against their rights. You can't post somebody else's content, stream somebody else's content without their permission, especially sports events. They'll cut your channel immediately. All right, so back to the matter at hand. We're already 4 teams through. We're going to touch on the next team on the list, the Dallas Wings. Now, Dallas, who did they draft? They drafted J.C. Sheldon, and they drafted another guard, Carla Light. But let's touch on their starting 5. This is interesting as well. So, last season, Crystal Dangerfield started. I know they switched between, what's shorty name? Veronica Burton and Crystal Dangerfield, but Crystal Dangerfield was the main point guard. So, I think she'll start again. Arike Gumbawale, nothing needs to be said. She definitely starting. I have Maddie Segrist here at the 3 because if you look to the right, let me turn up the font on here. Satu Sabali is out with I think a shoulder injury that she sustained in like January, February, somewhere around there in her overseas games. Excuse me. So Satu is not going to be available until post-Olympics. So that puts a damper on their whole situation they got going down there. On the negative, you're missing Satu, who was an all-star player last year. She actually avoided the injury bug for the first time and really produced points, rebounds, assists. She was doing it all from that small forward, that 3 position. But without her till Olympics, it's going to be tough. So that's why I have Maddie Segrist here. The positive about that situation is that they can sign somebody else on a hardship contract until she's back with the team. So they have an extra roster spot, which I've put down here at the hardship contract spot. Then the next 2, Natasha Howard, she started last year. Salute, played for the Liberty as well. And Tiara McCowan starting at the center. Love Me says could see them starting 3 guards with JC. She's the better defender. And RC says, so this is gonna be Maddie's chance to sign. She better do it. Yeah. I mean, that's usually how these sort of things happen. It takes an injury. It's not even only in basketball, but like if you look at something like American football, what's a buddy named for the Patriots that got hurt and Tom Brady got his shot and never let go of the rope. So it's one of those situations where it's unfortunate your teammate got hurt, but now it's your opportunity to make the most of it. It's your time to make the most of that opportunity. Let's see what I'm seeing. RC says, I keep hearing there's no guarantee that JC. Yeah, people keep saying that. I'm gonna put this up for y'all to see. I keep seeing this. RC says, I keep hearing there's no guarantee that JC, even drafted at 6, will make the team. I don't understand why. Thank you, RC. Drew Bledsoe. That's who I was referencing. I don't understand why that's the narrative. She's a shooter. She's a wing defender and a 3-point shooter. A combo guard. I don't really get it, but maybe they know more about JC's and the wings combination than I do. Love Me says Maddie's gonna get torched at small forward. She may be, but you gotta throw her in the fire. If she can't guard that small forward, where can she play? Honestly, so they're gonna have to. This is gonna be a do or die first 20-ish games for her. So she's gonna have to make make something happen. Let's go to the bench. Kalani Brown, they just re-upped her deal Veronica Burton, as I mentioned before, and Lou Lopez Seneschal. Lou is reporting late to camp. I think she's overseas, so Lou is not reported to training camp as of yet. Now this is where it gets interesting. What do the Wings need at this point? Now that Satu is out, they have space for they have space for 4 players with Satu out. So I'm saying JC off rip. I don't care what nobody say. I'm saying JC's gonna make it. Should have just copied this whole thing over. I keep doing that. But I'm saying JC's gonna make it. I like what Daniel's saying. I was thinking that too. Emma Cannon. Let me delete JC from here. I think they need another body at that forward. I'm gonna go with Emma Cannon. I like it. I'll move Emma up here. All right, so we got space for 2 more. We got a guard and a forward. Do they need another big? They have Tierra and Kalani. Do they need another big? Love Me says PG is still their weakest option to me. They need size and offense there. Okay. So who do they go with there? I think is JC more of a combo guard? I think I saw her mainly at the 2. If I remember at Ohio State, I don't know if she played 1 in a pinch, but I would assume so. Soares makes it. Stephanie Soares. She was a rookie. Drafted last year. Stephanie Soares, another big. She's a combo guard. Thank you. So I'm gonna put Stephanie here as well. I think she'll make it as well. And we have one more spot. It doesn't matter who's playing point because Enrique gonna be somebody got to get her the ball. She ain't. That's true though. Enrique, if you know Enrique, she hasn't seen a shot she don't like. I'll put it like that. So you have Ashley Owusu. She just got drafted. Katrina Pardee, I'm not too familiar with her game. Sevgi and Jaylen Brown. I'm not too familiar with those last few. Y'all could inform me more. According to her hoop stats, I think they said they did, but maybe they only have the space for 12. I'm saying because of the hardship contract, so that 12 spot will just be the hardship contract deal. So it's gonna be somebody who'll come on, keep signing hardship contracts for the first half of the season, and then once Satu comes back, somebody getting dropped. So that's what this final 12 spot is for, the hardship. RC says, Jay, do they still have Veronica Burton? Nah, she's still there. Veronica is still there. Saw her in the training camp videos earlier today. Daniel says Ashley Owusu. Ashley Owusu makes it. You know what? I'm gonna put her. I'm gonna put her. She's gonna be a hardship contract. So I say Ashley Owusu makes that final spot as a hardship. They don't have space for 12. They only have space for 11. But due to the Satu being hurt, they could sign an extra player in her stead. So what are we thinking about this 12 from the Dallas Wings? Good, bad, and different. What were we thinking they seed? Do they struggle without Satu? Do they stay the same? I don't know. Satu was a big part of what they did. She was a walk-in mismatch at that 3 position. Does Maddie Seagrass? I don't think Maddie Seagrass makes up for that. Yep, Love Me says without Satu, I think they drop. I agree. I think they drop down to that 6 to 8 range, and hopefully Satu comes back healthy because they said her warm up is going to be the Olympic Games playing with Germany, and then she'll come right back into the W season. So it's going to be really, really interesting how they manage to hold the fort down in her absence. Excuse me, Awaka Ware. If we look over to the other players, Awaka Ware suspended for the season. Well, her contract is suspended. She's taking a mental health break. So all the best to Awaka Ware, and hope she gets better. And Carla Lake, 2024 rookie. She's not coming over. All right, that's it for Dallas. That is it for Dallas. We're gonna go on to the talk of the town, the talk of the basketball world, basketball heaven, the Indiana Fever. If you're new to the W, Indiana Fever have not been good, just flat out. They haven't been good since Tamika left, which was the mid 2010s. They got the chip though, so I can't really knock them. But they have not been good. They had the last 2 first overall picks with Aaliyah Boston and now Caitlin Clark. Love B says they're gonna suck this year too. Oh man, are you talking about Indiana? Jeez, let's go through their starting 5 here. So I think the city of Indianapolis would burn down if Caitlin Clark is not starting in some capacity for the Indiana Fever. I think the Caitlin Clark hive will riot. So I'm just gonna put her as a starter, whether that's the point or at the 2. I don't know, but she's starting. Indiana would be committing self-sabotage if they didn't. Kelsey Mitchell. This is one that I was worried about because they said she's hurt. Excuse me, she's hurt. They don't know. Well, they haven't really revealed the severity. I'm not sure the severity of it. They haven't even really specified what it is. So from what I saw in the training camp videos, they had Erica Wheeler, Caitlin Clark, Katie Lou, Nalissa, and Aaliyah starting. Well, not starting, but on the floor together. I guess getting those reps together. So if in the event that Kelsey is not able to go, Erica Wheeler will step in, whether she's the 1 or the 2. She'll probably have to play the 2. They want the ball in Caitlin's hands as much as possible. But on the flip side of that, Caitlin is the better shooter by far. So it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do there. But we see. Aaliyah is the only good defender in the starting 5. Yeah, Katie Lou is not known for her defense. Caitlin, yeah. Erica, yeah. And Nalissa, she'll give you buckets, but you'll be getting some buckets back, honestly. So we'll see if any improvement was made with their time overseas. Well, specifically about Nalissa, if she improved in that area. But it's gonna be interesting to see. RC says Lexi's making this roster. We're gonna get to that, bro. I don't know. And Daniel says Maya Caldwell, Christy Wallace, and Lexi. We're gonna get to that because I have some things about that. Their bench. RC says they'll probably just try to outscore everyone. Possibly. I would not be surprised. Their bench though. I mentioned Erica Wheeler. We'll see if she starts, if Kelsey's hurt. We went over that. Grace Berger, she's gonna start. She's gonna be the point guard, the backup. You have Damiris Dantas. She's on a guarantee, so she's gonna be on the roster. And Victoria Saxton. Man, everybody's like, it's Lexi Hive over here. That's what I'm seeing. Love Me says I would start Lexi at the 3 over Katie Lou. I don't know. Katie Lou on a guarantee. I told you, money plays a part in these things too. Indiana Fever. Let me look at the money situation. Katie Lou, she's getting paid $175,000 this year. 3rd highest paid player on the team. I don't think they signed her to come off the bench. I'm gonna tell you that. I'm gonna tell you that right now. She's guaranteed the next 2 years. 175 this year, 180 next year. Yeah, so I don't think they signed her to come off the bench. But let's take a look at it though. So we have Maya Caldwell, Tummy Benley, Celeste Taylor, the rookie, Leilani Correa, the rookie, Christy Wallace, and Lexi Hull. From what I saw, they have enough money for the 3. enough money for 3 and then some. So what do we think? What do they need? I saw Maya, I saw Christy and Lexi. I've seen Lexi Hull Hive on here. I don't see any love for you think do we think Celeste makes it? I've been seeing them talking up Celeste and her defense. Do we think Christy makes it? You know, Christy Sides, love Christy Wallace. That was like her gunner off the bench, and she started sometimes last year as well. So, um, Daniel says Victoria Saxon's game should improve. For their sake, I hope it does. She's gonna be getting a lot of those, 3-4 minutes. So, for their sake, I hope it does. So, what are we thinking? I'm gonna just put Lexi here because Lexi Hive on here. I'm gonna put Lexi here. Y'all saying Lexi? Yeah, they could probably keep. Yep, I'm thinking the same thing. RC says they could probably keep Celeste or Leilani, but not both. Yep, I think they fit that same sort of mold. I haven't seen a lot of Leilani. I did a little research on her, to be super honest with you, but I haven't seen too much of her. So I'm gonna put Lexi there since y'all keep advocating for Lexi. We got 2 more spots. Yeah, the Lexi. I looked at her percentages from 3. She was bad. She was really bad from 3. Last year. I don't know if she was coming off. She was injured, or I don't know what the case was. But when I went to look at those stats earlier, them stats was like in the high 20s or something around there last season. So I don't know. I don't know. Daniel says Maya Caldwell, Christy Wallace. So no love for the other 2 rookies. No Celeste, no Leilani. Let me put rookie here. I didn't even notify that they were rookies. So I'm seeing Maya Caldwell, Christy Wallace. I don't know about Maya. I don't know about her either. I haven't seen anything from Maya Caldwell that's like promising, at least in my opinion. But I'm gonna say Christy. But also they need a big. They need a big. Aaliyah Boston can't hold it down. They probably put Demiris Dantas there, but I don't know. Can she hold it down like that? I'm not familiar with her game. Anybody know about Demiris? Please let me know. I don't know if I'm not too familiar with how she get down. But they gonna need another big. So just for the sake of them needing another big, I'm gonna put Temi. Marcy says Grace Berger main X factor. Possibly she's gonna really have a bulk of those backup point guard minutes. Not necessarily because Erica Wheeler is there, but they might just put Erica at the 2 and say Grace go get control the offense because Grace is the future. Erica Wheeler is on the last year of her contract. She's getting paid $200,000 this season. WNBA should have a developmental team like the NBA's G League. Yeah, but with that comes money, facilities, all that thing, all those things. So it's gonna be a little bit before we get to that point, Daniel. Because that's a good point. We would wish that they had a G League or a D League, but unfortunately, they don't have the facilities to have it. So I have Lexi, I have Temi, and I'm seeing Maya. I'm seeing no love for Celeste. I saw love for Christy. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not choosing Maya. It's between Christy and Celeste for me. Between Christy and Celeste. I think Christy Sides likes Christy Wallace. But I think they may want to go defender. Because who on this team is like, all right, go play some defense. That's the only thing. So I'm gonna go Celeste. Nah, I can't even say that though. I don't know. But I'm gonna put Celeste here. Oh, what did I do? Oh, I'll keep doing that. I'm gonna put Celeste here. And I think that's it. I'm not sure about Lexi. If anybody had to swap, I'm swapping. Oh, I copied the wrong person. Put that there. There we go, Celeste. I'm not sold on Lexi, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. I would put Christy over her. Christy at least gives you more scoring in that aspect. So if you're not gonna defend, you gotta at least score. Lexi, I haven't seen anything that's like she would do it. Oh, this man RC's man said if I would just put it up here. You saw Kayla's clips in training camp. She couldn't even guard a water cooler. Nah, come on, man. But I'm not shocked, honestly. So they do need some defensive muscle. They say Lexi Hull is defender. I think that's more narrative based than anything. But I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave this roster as is. On the wave section, I have Victoria Vivian. She got waived before training camp. She's picked up by Seattle Storm, who we'll get to later. So I think this is what it'll be, guys. It'll be interesting to see where Indiana finishes. Where y'all think Indiana finishes? I'm thinking Indiana is a 7-8, a 6 to 8 range, I should say. Where we think Indiana finishes? Let me know in the comments. I'm saying 6 to 8. We're going to move on to Las Vegas. Just let me know in the comments. Daniel says 7. Thank you. They won 13 games last year. You give them 9, 10 more wins. That puts them at 23. So that puts them over 500. While I'm here, let me look up the standings from last year. Let me just have this up on my screen so I could at least see. So if you put them there, yeah, that puts them around 5 because last year, 4th seed was 22 and 18. 5th seed was 19 and 21. So that put them right at that 5 spot. Interesting. Very interesting. So Indiana at 5. I got them 6 to 8 range. Daniel says 7th. It'll be interesting to see. But we're gonna move on to these folks over in Vegas. Them who shall not be named. Nah, it's the Las Vegas Aces, back-to-back champs. They're going. I was gonna say they're going with their starting 5, but as RC mentioned earlier in the stream, salute to Candace Parker. Announced her retirement on the first day of training camp. She made a whole long Instagram post about she was trying to get back. She's given so much to the game. Her surgery hasn't her foot surgery hasn't responded as quickly as she thought. She's in a lot of pain, so she figured she might as well just hang up the boots and ride off into the sunset with 3 rings, 2 Finals MVPs. Is it 2 Finals MVPs? Yeah, I think it's 2 Finals MVPs and then 1 regular season MVP. I think I'm right about that. A bunch of All-Star games, all that. Daniel says Sydney, Kate, Bria Hartley. RC says, Jay, I'm gonna tell you something hilarious. I'm a diehard Aces fan, but I really won't find out who I'm a fan of until the Aces meet defeat. Oh yeah, that's gonna test your fandom crazy. This man is a Fever Aces, well, a Caitlyn Aces guy. So that combination, we'll see who comes out on top in your fandom, in your fandom rankings. But the starting 5: Chelsea Gray, Kelsey Plum, Jackie Young, Asia Wilson, and Kia Stokes. They said she's out of her boot, I believe. So I believe she'll be at that 5 position. Alicia Clark back again. They got Gustafson from Phoenix. I think she was a free agent. I think she was a free agent, and they acquired I can't always butcher her name. Megan Gustafson. And Kirsten Bell was on the roster last year, so I think she sticks. Now, when it comes to all these people down here in red, they have enough space for 12. But now with Candace off the books, it just opened up the money even more. So they have Sydney Colson, which is like essentially like the face of their team outside of the basketball reasons. You got Sydney Colson, Bria Beal, who was drafted but didn't make a team, Kamaria McDaniel, Morgan Jones, Bria Hartley. Shout out, I think Bria's like from Long Island. Shout out Long Island. Diasia Fair, Kate Martin, the Iowa Hawkeye, and Angel Jackson. RC says Megan working super hard in practice. Like Megan needs to cool out. Yeah, Meg, you gotta wait your turn. You got seniority, or the vibes with the Aces. They're not gonna start Meg. She's gonna be that punch off the bench. So they have space for 4 players, guys. So off rip, I'm going Sydney Colson. They ain't dropping her. No matter what people think about her game, she's there for the she can contribute, but she's mainly there for the vibes as well. Who we got next? I saw Daniel said Bria Hartley, Bria Beal. Bria Hartley, Bria Beal. I don't know. Bria be hurt a lot, and Bria stay getting hurt. I don't know about Bria. I like Bria, but I don't know about Bria. RC says, okay, here's who I want to make it. Kate and Bria. Okay, I mean they both can make it. Yes. I'm gonna since both of y'all said Bria, I'm gonna go Bria. Let's move Bria here. So Bria moves up, and they still got space for 2 more. So we got Bria. RC says Hartley not gonna make it. I'll be shocked. Yeah, I'll be super shocked. I'd be super shocked if Bria makes his team. I'm gonna throw something out there. I'm gonna go these 2. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. Oh, I forgot. Bria Hartley. I think Bria Beal makes it. Bria Hartley doesn't. I'm over here saying Bria, just Bria, and not specifying. Thank you for that. I totally blanked on both of them being Bria spelled differently. Yep, that's exactly who I'm going for, Daniel. Exactly who I'm going for. Diasia Fair, Kate Martin, rounded out. I think that's who they go with. Sorry to Morgan and Angel and all these other folks, but I think that's who they will go with this year. At least to start the season. Anything can happen afterwards. RC said somebody said don't rule out Angel Jackson making a roster because she's 6'6". Oh, she's tall. They have Alicia, they have Meg, and they have Kirsten. They have Bria. So it's either got to be Bria or Angel, I think. I don't think they'll go with multiple forwards. I don't think they'll get rid of a guard to go with another forward. Maybe they will. Who knows? Who knows what the Aces do? I mean, a lot of these players are probably not going to play a lot of minutes besides garbage time because they've been blown. At least last year, they were blowing a bunch of teams out. So it'll be interesting. But I'm going to leave it with this. But Angel, I guess Angel could be moved up to that 13th spot. I'm going to move her up. I'm going to put her right under here. For those asking about Elizabeth Kitley, on socials, Elizabeth, she was drafted, but she is not. She's out with an ACL, so they have her rights, but she's not going to be ready for this season. She's more of a future project. You gotta also think, guys. A lot of these moves, people are thinking into the future because in December, when they have that dispersion draft. Because Golden State is joining the league, the Golden State, whatever their team is going to be named. So they have to do a dispersion draft where they have to take players from all the different teams in the W to add to the Golden State team. So I think a lot of these moves that are being made with the future in mind as well. Because I think the teams are allowed to protect, at least in the past, they were allowed to protect 5 to 6 players, and everybody else was free game. So a lot of players' contracts are ending next season or ending at the end of this season to be free agents so they can still control their destiny. But it's going to be interesting to see the maneuvering of contracts and players as we get closer to the end of the year. But the Aces, ain't nothing much to say about them. The top seven are gonna get minutes. Consistently, everybody else is getting where you fit in when it's a blowout or if somebody gets hurt. Kayla George, I think Kayla George is still overseas from what I saw. She wasn't. I don't think the team re-upped her. Let me look at the money situation for Kayla George. Good question, Daniel. Yeah, she's an unrestricted free agent, so I don't think the team is even planning on resigning her at all. She did what she had to do. She got a ring, and going back to Australia. Let me stop. Respect to her. Marcy says you got to release some players, right? You get to protect your best and core players, and the expendables got to go. Yeah, or see that's how those dispersion drafts worked in the past. You get protect six. Everybody else is slim pickings for them. They could get snatched up and move on over to San Francisco. All right, we're done with the Aces. We on the Sparks now. The Sparks also had a big draft. They had two top five picks, and they ended up scooping Rakia and Cameron. Rakia and Cameron. But let's start at the starting five. So I got Ari McDonald here. They acquired her, as I said earlier, with Atlanta. It was Ari McDonald and Monique Billings in the trade for Jordan Canada, as well as like a pick or something. So she's gonna start. This is where I got interested in Laisha Clarendon. I'm gonna put a question mark beside her. I don't know if she starts at the two. I know Lexi started at the two when she was healthy last year. Ray Burrell can also contribute at that position. They did acquire Kia Nurse to acquire that draft pick, but Kia Nurse is on the other side of her career at this point. But she is making a good amount of money. Let me look at the money. She's making 142 grand a year. You think Kia should start? Daniel says. Hmm. Kia starts. Okay. Put Kia at the two. I think I could rock with that. I'll do that now. Put Kia at the two. I'll take that suggestion. I'll move Laisha Clarendon to the bench. Move Kia over here. Cool. So we'll put Kia here for now. I'm gonna put a question mark next to her because I'm not sure about that one as well. Maybe Lexi, who knows? Because they just re-upped Lexi as well. Rakia Jackson, I think they're throwing her right into the fire at that three spot. I think they're gonna put her right in there. Dearica Hamby at the four, and then Cameron Brink at the five. I think both rookies will be starting day one. You got two top five picks. You got to put them in there. There's like you got nothing. There's no NECA. Azare Stevens, I didn't mention, but Azare Stevens is hurt. She's gonna be out for a while as well. So no Azare Stevens to worry about. Lee Ureru, who they got in that trade with Chicago to get that pick. And Julie Alamon. I don't think she's gonna be competing for. She's gonna be competing for backup center minutes. Julie Alamon's overseas rehabbing, so she's out as well. RC said Rakia Jackson's rumored to be a rookie of the year candidate off top. I'm not surprised. She is as good as advertised on the offensive end. We'll see how she picks it up on the defensive end, which is where a lot of her critiques come from other people. But I think that's the starting five they'll go with. They're just gonna throw the youth out there with a couple vets and go to work. That's a good question. Can Cameron and Dearica play together? From the training camp videos I saw, they were working together. So that's gonna have to be a trial by fire situation there. So they have to figure it out. They're not gonna have any Rakia or Cameron come off the bench for anybody that's here. Their bench, Laisha Clarendon, you got Ray Burrell, who they re-upped on a new deal. Monique Billings, who they acquired in that trade with Atlanta. Stephanie Talbot, I think she's coming back off like an ACL injury or something major like that. Lexi Brown, who they re-upped, and Lee, who they acquired in the trade that I mentioned. So if let's see. So you have Azare and Julie, which are out, which takes 2 spots away. They can fit up to 12 here on the roster. I know Zaya. She was with the Sparks last year. So I think she would have the inside track to make it, but it depends on what the team needs. Do they go with a big in Virat Kiss or a forward in Mackenzie Forbes? I don't know who they go with. Anybody, any Sparks fans in here? Let me know. I don't know who they would be going with at that spot. I would say Zaya just for the continuity reasons, but who knows who they would go with in this situation. I'm going to just put Zaya there. It's going to be tough. There's a bunch of guards here with Lexi, Ray, but Ray could play the forward, the small forward position, and Leisha could play the point guard position. It'll be tough. I don't know. Taylor Mixell a sleeper to make the team. You think so? Who was Taylor with? Was she with Atlanta last year? For some reason, I'm thinking Atlanta. Let me look at my little chart over here. Yeah, she was with Atlanta. She played 6 games with Atlanta. Only averaged about 5 minutes. She shot. She didn't shoot too many threes, but she shot 42% from 3. So that'll be interesting. Oh, Daniel. All right, salute to you, a Sparks fan. So we got Taylor as a sleeper. Okay, I'm gonna take it from the Sparks fan, folks, and I'm gonna put Taylor here as a sleeper. I'm gonna put in the notes, sleeper. I know I spelled that wrong. Let me add it. Sleeper, and I put it in the wrong spot. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna put Taylor as a sleeper there to make the squad. All right, any questions, comments, concerns about that? Is that where we think LA finishes? Are they? I don't think they make the offs. I said the offs, the playoffs. I think they're on the outside looking in, maybe a 9-10 seed. It depends on how fast everything gels, but I'm thinking 9-10 for LA. Let me know. I'm sorry, Daniel. I know that's your team, but the future is bright, but the present not so much. Man said ASAP. Man said game 1 they going fishing. Let me drink some water right quick. Man said fishing ASAP. That's crazy. All right. We gonna move on. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 teams left, guys. Man, 4 teams left. Next is the Minnesota Lynx. Shout out to Ant Edwards. I know it's not the Lynx, it's the cousin to the Lynx, the Timberwolf. But you saw what Ant did to that team down in Phoenix. Gave him the future is now old man moves and got them, swept them old fogies out of here. Daniel says the W needs to play it. Oh man, that means every team making the playoffs at that point. Oh man, W playing is crazy. Yeah, RC, that boy Ant he's different, man. Anthony Edwards, salute to him. 22 years of age, took on his idol and battered them. No fear. All right, let's get back to more pressing matters with the W. Minnesota Lynx. This is the projected 5 that I'm thinking of. Courtney Williams, who they just acquired at the point, right? Then we got Kayla McBride. She just won a EuroLeague chip over in Fenerbahce. RC said they still crying. I'm weak. Kayla won a chip over in EuroLeague this season. I mean, her team was stacked. They had Nafisa, Emma Misamin. They had like the whole W on that team. But Fenerbahce from Turkey, they won the chip. Kayla's starting. Diamond Miller, the rookie from last year, she's definitely starting. Nafisa, of course, and Dorka at the center. That's my thinking. The only thing that I was debating in my mind was, do they move Nafisa to the 5 and start Alana Smith at the 4? That was the only concern in my mind. Um, I watched Alana Smith did some damage to the Liberty in one a game I think last year. She could score from outside inside as well. So I don't know if Dorka starts. I think they'll go with Dorka, but Alana Smith is a candidate to start as well, and they bring Dorka off the bench. But we shall see. When it comes to the bench, Alana Smith, Natisha Heidemann, who they acquired from the Connecticut, as I mentioned, Sika Kone, who they acquired from Chicago, and Bridget Carlton, who's been on the team for a number of years. Before I go to the training camp contracts, Jessica Shepard, not with the team this year, from what I remember. I think I wrote that down. Yeah, Jessica Shepard. Um, yeah, full season suspension, not report. I think she's playing overseas. Now let's get to the training camp contracts down here. We got Alyssa Pilley, that's the rookie. Sorry, I didn't put it there. She's the rookie they just drafted with the the eighth overall pick. Taylor Soule. You got Kiana Traylor, Kiki Jefferson, Ruthie Hubbard. I forgot the Y's, Ruthie. Jamie, I don't know who that person is. Jamie Nared, Maya Hirsch, Olivia Opupa. I think she's French, and Cecilia what? Zandalcini. Sorry to Zandalcini. I butchered your name. RC says the Lynx gonna surprise some people. You think so? Daniel says Alyssa makes it. Yeah, that's not a. There's no doubt in my mind that she makes it too. I'm gonna go with you on. I'm gonna agree with you there. What am I doing? Just paste. Alyssa Pilley makes it. Definitely. They have space for 12, so they have space for 2 more people. What do they need? They have a center in Dorka. Well, she's really a forward, but she plays the center. Forward in Sika Kone, forward in Alana Smith. They gonna need a big, I think. I mean, but they've been working with Nicolina Milic and Jessica Shepard. They've been working with like big forwards, big-ish forwards. So what do they go with here? Taylor Soule. I'm not sure how tall Taylor is. Let me look at my notes here, where I have all of the heights. Minnesota. So they saying, oh, they don't even got the heights here for here. That's trash. Taylor Soule is a forward. They have her classified as a forward though. I'm not too sure who makes this team. I'm gonna say Ruth. Let me fix Ruthie's name. Sorry to Ruthie. I'm gonna fix your name. I'm gonna copy you over. Alyssa, Ruthie, and we got space for one more. I don't think they go with an. They don't have too many guards. Now that I look at it, they don't have too many guards. So you know what? Let's see. Who's Kiki Jefferson? They have her classified as a forward out of Louisville. I'm not too sure who this last spot goes to, guys. To be super honest with you, I'm going to just go out on a guess and say, let's see, Kiana Traylor. She's a guard, born 99. I'm gonna go out on a guess and just say Kiana Traylor. I could be. I'm gonna just admit I don't know, but we going Kiana Traylor. Cool. So Daniel agrees with Kiana or Taylor. I'm gonna go with Kiana Traylor for that final spot. All right. The Lynx. Where do we think the Lynx finish? They're bringing back a majority of their team. They sort of improved in some areas. I think the point guard position they definitely improved with Courtney Williams. She was like a walking like 10, 8, and 6 last year. 8 assists, 6 rebounds, or 6 rebounds, 8 assists. She played really well. Lynx finished top 4. Let me put this on the stream so people can see. That is RC. RC says Lynx finished in the top 4. Wow. Okay. That's a big ask, but a big ask. But if they can, yeah, it'll be interesting. Top 4, I have them. I got too many teams in the 6 to 8 range. I'm gonna put them right behind Indiana, so they're at 6. If you have Indiana at 5, no, I'm gonna put them at 5, Indiana at 6. That's what I'm going with. That's my final answer. I need to write this down. I'm gonna have another stream next week because they definitely gonna make some cuts next by the end of this week, and then we'll see who's survived. But let's get to Phoenix. All right, we got the Phoenix Mercury. They made crazy moves this off season. They said, man, we don't want no draft picks. We going big or going home for Diana's last year. I don't know if it's her last year. I'm just assuming. But we got Natasha Cloud, who they got from Washington. They got Diana Taurasi, of course, the old vet, 41, 42, however old she is. She in her 40s. We got Kalia Copper, who they acquired from Chicago. Rebecca Allen, who they acquired from Connecticut. And Brittany Griner, who's been with the Mercury. And then Sophie Cunningham. That's all they have. Everybody who they have signed now is guaranteed money. Guaranteed money. Everybody who they have signed now. Now it's to fill out the rest of the roster. I think they only have space for 11 because all their money is tied up in that starting lineup there. They paying a lot of people money. Looking at the money here, you got Kalia making $240, Diana making $230, Natasha making $2, Rebecca making $160, Sophie making $154, and Brittany Griner making $150. So yeah, they don't have a lot of money to go around. So looking at the training camp contracts, Morgan Birch, who they got from their rights from Chicago, Shook Sutton, who's on the team last year, Natasha Mack, Kristen Williams, Maya Hollingshed, Bella, I'm not gonna butcher her last name, Murcat, Amy Atwell, and Jazz Shelley. So we got space for 4 players, 7, 8, 9, 5 players actually. Excuse me, my math is terrible. So I think Shug will make it. I'm gonna put Shug there. I'm gonna put Morgan Birch there. So we already got 2 out the way. We got Morgan out the way, and we got Shug Sutton out the way. So Amy, Morgan, and Shug is Daniel. That's what Daniel's saying. So we got Amy. I'm gonna put Amy there. I'll take your word for it. I'm not familiar with her game. Oh, it's not Amy. There you go. And we still got space for 2 more because they need to get to at least 11. So does Jazz Shelley? Am I familiar with Jazz Shelley's game? Natasha Mack, Kristen Williams. I feel like I've seen that name before. Did she play last year? I mean, look, Kristen Williams. Yeah, she was on the team but didn't play. Got it. Jazz Shelley, okay. So we got Jazz Shelley, and we got space for 1 more player to make the team. I think they might go with a big. Oh, yes, that's why I'm remembering that name, Jazz Shelley. She was at Ohio State. I think they may go with a big. I really think they do. So I'm out. Let me see who this Bella lady is. I don't even see. Oh, there it is. Bella Mercat. Oh, her name not even popping up here. I guess she's new. You're saying Natasha Mack. Where is Natasha? Is Natasha Mack? Oh, she played. What team is this? Oh, okay. Natasha Mack, she last played in 2021. Okay. With 2 teams. Can the Phoenix Sun, what's calling the Suns? Phoenix Mercury bounce back into the playoffs? I think so. They're not missing the playoffs this year with this roster. It would be an atrocity if they missed this. I'm gonna put Natasha Mack. I'm not too familiar with anybody else on this list, So we go with Natasha. Tasha Mack, boom. So that's the 11 that we created. The ones I definitely think: Suge, Morgan, and Jazz. I'm gonna say definitely. Everybody else is a toss up. We'll see if, because remember, if another player from another team gets cut, they could pick that player up as well. So that makes this interesting. Jazz played for Nebraska this past season. Okay. Yeah, I'm not, as y'all know, I'm not too familiar with the college game, both men and women. I only I'm not too familiar, so I appreciate all the insight. All right, so I think this starting lineup is good enough to get you. I think the talent's just good enough to get you fourth seed. Honestly, I think the Phoenix Mercury finish in the top four. They're gonna have to stagger the minutes with the starters. I mean, you already know Diana is good to give you half a season. She's gonna either hurt a sternum or an ankle or a hand or something. You know, the older you get, the more fragile you get. Um, you can't recover the same. So they're gonna need somebody at that guard spot to pick up the slack when she's out. Rebecca, hopefully Rebecca can stay healthy for them. Kalia won't have to do as much this year. Natasha's a good point guard. So I think top four for Phoenix. Top four. Oh, I definitely forgot about Charisma. Thank you. I definitely forgot about Charisma. I think I deleted her by accident when I was creating this. And I think I was just upset that we didn't pick her. I definitely forgot about Charisma Osborne. Well, somebody getting moved. I think Charisma Osborne makes a team. Honestly. Somebody getting clipped. I'm sorry, Amy. I don't know about your game like that. I definitely chopped Charisma, and I definitely had her going to the Liberty in the first round. Let me put Amy back on the list. I definitely chopped Charisma. My bad, Charisma. UCLA. I know. Oh, you a UCLA guy, right? RC. You like UCLA? Was she UCLA? Yeah, I think she was UCLA. Yeah. So Charisma makes it. Sorry, I totally forgot about her. Yeah, I like Rebecca in the starting lineup, and I think they need a defensive presence in there because they got Natasha, who's a defender, Diana, not a defender, Kalia, Rebecca, defender, and then Brittany Griner protecting the paint. Yes, I remember Iowa and UCLA. Got you. So thanks to RC, I totally forgot about Charisma Osborne. I guess I accidentally cut her name off, but Charisma makes the team. That's my opinion. She's a 3-and-D. Oh, I thought the Liberty were gonna grab her, but we went with Marquisha. Yeah, Morgan off the bench. Morgan Birch off the bench. Morgan Birch. She's probably gonna be that. She's probably gonna be the sub for Rebecca Allen. There'll probably be games where she'll start over Rebecca depending on matchups, but I think Morgan will come off the bench as of now. Down to the last two. Seattle. Seattle's another team that had a big off season. It wasn't in the draft. They traded out of the draft to get what they wanted, and they got their big three. I'm gonna put the air quotes there if you're just listening. They got Skylar from Phoenix. They got Jewel, who of course is Jewel, who's been there. Jordan Horston, the rookie. Neko Agumake from LA Sparks, and Ezzy Magbagor, who was there last year. That is a solid starting five. It's very solid. There's only one basketball though, so Jewel was in scorer mode last year. Will she have to take less of a role in scoring to to have Skylar facilitate to everybody else? So Neka can get her touches, Ezzy can get her touches. It's gonna be something to see how they do. Let me make sure I have everybody else here. Let me switch my tab over to the Seattle Storm roster here. So for their bench, they got Mercedes Russell. She's gonna make the team. She's guaranteed. Sammy Whitcomb, gonna make guaranteed money making the team. I liked what I saw to Dulcie Mengiadu last season. She was really solid last year. So I think she'll make the team. That's why I have her up here. And for Jade Melbourne, she was a backup guard last year as well. I think she makes the team. I think she really makes the team. Now when it comes to these last couple picks, they have space for 11, so they need 3 more people. Let's see who those 3 people are. They got Joyner Holmes, Victoria Vivians, Kiana Williams, Elena Coates, and Kayla Davis. Joyner, Seattle should definitely trend upward. Definitely, they're not going to be as bad as they were last year. That's why when people were saying Indiana is an automatic like playoff team, I'm like, you got some veteran teams that really re-upped. And who falls out? So I say Chicago falls out of the playoff race. And let me go back to who made the playoffs. I can't that tab. WNBA playoffs. Like, so who falls out? That's always the question. Like, okay, people come in, but people got to come out so people could come in. If you, you know what I mean. You know exactly what I mean. So Washington falls out. So you have Washington and Chicago who fall out. So that leaves space for 2 teams. But we'll get to that. Let's finish with Seattle. So Daniel saying Joyner, Victoria, Elena. Joyner, Victoria, and Elena. I think I can rock with that. I like that. I'm gonna rock with that one. Joyner and Victoria. Oh, they only have space for 2. They only have space for 2. You got to cut one off, Daniel. They only have space for 2. So, unless you think Jade or Dulcie don't make the team, they only can fit 2 more. I think Joyner makes it. Because they have Sammy, Jade, Joyner, and Victoria. All right, cool. So I'm gonna put those 2. Boom. Let's get them out of here. So I think that's the final roster. I'm sorry to Elena. I think Elena's a center. I don't know why I have her as guard here. But I don't know these players, Jay. Bro, I don't know. I know Elena because I think she was on the Aces for a period last season. And those other 2, sorry. I apologize. I'm not familiar with your game. But, oh, see, I'm leaving people off the list. I'm glad you're on the stream. Nika. Another player the Liberty thought they should have had. Man, so who does Victoria Vivian stay or does Nika Mueller? Interesting. Or do this is gonna be tough too. Nika over Victoria? Cool. So you have to say. Victoria Vivian's. Whatever. You know what I was trying to say. Victoria Vivian's. Nika makes it. Thank you again. Yeah. That whole UConn Sue Bird and the Nika connection, yeah. The narrative is too much to pass up. Nika's gonna make it. And she's a solid defender and 3-point shooter. I don't know how many minutes she's going to get unless they play Nika at the point and nah, but then you have Sammy and you have Jade. Oh man, it's gonna be tough. It's going to be tough, but I think she'll definitely make the team. So I think that starting 5 is solid. Like I said, I think Seattle, man. I got to do some rearranging. I need to write down the teams that I have listed where. Because I have Aces 1, Liberty 2, 3. Is where it gets interesting. 3, 4, 5. I'm going to say, let's do Washington first and then I'll write it down. So it's set in stone. Washington Mystics. Yeah, we know what happened with them. Elena was like, yeah, Natasha not going to be here. I'm gonna take the year off. Nah, come on, man. It's the last few days like picking blueberries over cranberries. Or blueberries and cranberries. That's true. It's a berry. It's gonna get the job done. But Washington, bro. Washington. Elena said, "Yeah, I'm out. I'ma holla at y'all. I'm taking the year off to rest my back." But we know what that meant. She said, "I'm not playing with this sorry team." Um, so the starting five. I don't know. I have Brittany at the point. I know they had some point guard, Julie Van Loo. They signed to a training camp contract, but they need somebody who's gonna be solid with the ball, and who knows who's gonna run the team. So I have Brittany at the point, Brittany Sykes, Ariel Atkins at the two, Carly Samuelson, who they just signed, at the three, Maisha at the four, and Shakira at the five. Daniel says Aaliyah, Honesty, and Emily make the final spots. Okay, they have space for one, two, three, four. They have space for four. So give me one more. Their bench: Shatori Walker Kimbrough. She's been there. She's gonna make the team. Stephanie Dolson, ex Liberty. Salute to her. She signed a contract with the Mystics. And Queen Egbo, who they acquired last season, middle of last season, I think. I think she's a lock to make the team. I'm gonna agree here. I'm gonna go Aaliyah and Emily off rip. Off rip. Them two making the squad. I think Emily is more like a forward. So I'm gonna switch that. Honesty is a sleeper. Julie Van Loo, the guard. I think she's out of like Belgium or something. Dee Dee Richards, ex excuse me, ex Liberty drafted player. We cut her last year. She went over to Australia. Came back. Let me delete Queen Edbo from here. They drafted this girl, Kaylin Trong. I'm not familiar with her game, and Alyssa Kunane. I'm not familiar with her game either. So we got Honesty. I'm gonna put Honesty there. I'm gonna listen to y'all. I'm not familiar with her game, but I'm gonna take y'all word for it. Honesty, Scott Grayson. And then we got one more spot. What do they need? I think they need a guard. We have a lot of forwards here. And Alyssa, okay. Let me make sure I have these positions correct. Let me know if I'm missing somebody. Um, Let me know if I'm missing somebody. Oh, see, even on their little flyer, they don't know. They don't have who's a guard or who's not. But let me look at my other sheet here. Um, Washington Mystics. Let's see. I'm gonna go with y'all. I'm not familiar with none of these folks' game. Alyssa Kune. Let's see. Alyssa. Oh, so she played in 2022. Okay, cool. So we put Alyssa there. All right, so I think your starting five is terrible. Let me stop. I like Brittany. I like Ariel. Shakira's dope, but I don't see them making any noise. Don't see them making any noise. Um, Lee Mung. I don't think Lee Mung is on the training camp roster. I think she's staying over in China for the Olympics. So I think this is the roster they'll go with. Washington might finish 11, 12, to be honest with you. They're going to be somewhere in the 10 to 12 range. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. Washington, that's going to be a fall off to be. I hope if you're any Washington fans in here, I'm sorry you got to deal with that. You finished as a 7th seed last year, and now you're getting packed up. You're going to drop down to 11, 12. All right, guys. So that's the end. We went through all the teams, what we thought would make and wouldn't make. Before I leave, though, I'm going to just create a new tab. Let me delete all this. So I have it on stream. I'm going to name it 20, we call it 2024 W standings. We're going to put the date. What's today? Today is the 29th. So we're going to put 4, 29, 24. And we're going to put everybody. 1 through 12. Delete all this. 10, 11, 12. All right. Get this all fixed up nice and neat. Delete all this other foolishness they got here. All right. So let's go through it. So we got the aces as number 1. Cool. I think so. I got my Liberty to finish another again at number 2. Who's at 3? So last year it was the Sun. We have Seattle and Phoenix. We have Seattle, Phoenix, Minnesota. Do people really think the Fever can finish 3? I don't think so. I'm going to say Storm. I'm going to say Storm. At 4, you got Connecticut at 3 or 4, Daniel? You got Connecticut at 3 again? Sun finished 3? All right. I'm going to go with y'all. I'm going to go with the community. I'm going to go Sun. I'm going to put an asterisk next to it, indicating that I think. So at 4, I got Storm. At 5, who do I have at 5? At 5, I got the Mercury. 6, I got the Lynx. 7, I got the I think I got the Fever at 7. And 8, Dallas. I don't know with Satu out. I don't know if I think Dallas might sneak in at 8. I think I'm missing teams though. I'm missing teams. Let me fix this color actually. Black. You got Dallas at 8. Yep. You already know I got Lynx 4, Seattle 5, and Fever at 6. I'm gonna write this down, bro, because I don't want you backtracking. I said Lynx, Seattle Fever, Storm, Fever. I'm gonna put your name right here at the top. I got Fever at 7, Dallas at 8. Yeah, Sparks at 9. Dang, I just cut out the dream, huh? I just cut out Atlanta. I'm gonna go Dream at 9. No. I gotta make some corrections here. I forgot about Atlanta. What y'all think about Atlanta? Let me see y'all thoughts before I go. I'm gonna delete Atlanta from 9. What y'all think about Atlanta? I forgot about them. But I will say this. I'm gonna put this team here. Nah. I'm gonna put Sky here. Mystics here. I don't know. I might switch these 2 around. But I forgot about Atlanta. So Atlanta probably 8, right? That's what I'm like. I think Atlanta makes it. You know what? I'm gonna do something controversial here. I'm gonna put Dream here. I'm gonna put. This one is interesting because of Satu's injury. It's giving me pause here. But this is going to be interchangeable. I'm going to put the Fever here at 9. I'll put the Sparks here. No, actually. Man, this is tough. I'm going to put the Sky here and the Sparks here. Let me see. Ace is at 1. Liberty, Sun, Storm, Mercury, Lynx, Dream, Dallas, Fever. Man, this is tough. Sky never gonna finish last, Jay. Don't make. My bad. Oh damn! I forgot. I got Danny in here, the Sparks fan. That's why he had him at 9. Oh man. Yeah, looking at this Mystics roster, you might be right, man. I think I'm giving Brittany Sykes too much credit. Know what? You're right, man. I'm gonna go with that. I forgot I had the Sparks fan in here. This man said, "Don't disrespect my team like that." I'm still a little. I think I like this ending better. Mystic, Sparks, Sky, Fever. I don't know. I think the Fever make it, but not above any of these teams. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it like this though. I ain't gonna change this. I might update it. I'm gonna make another tab and update it when the final rosters get made. But as of now, you know what? Before I confirm this, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take Daniel's advice. Boom. So that's what I think. I think this is gonna be close. It's gonna come down to like last day of the season. You need somebody to win, somebody to lose for you to get in, and that's how it's gonna work. Fever in Dallas. All right, I ain't changing no more. That's mine. I'm gonna leave it as is. 429. I ain't gonna change this, guys. Y'all can screenshot that. It's gonna be on the stream anyway, so on the archive, so y'all can see it if I do change it. But that's how we gonna rock out. Man, that was longer than I thought. But I really had fun doing that. That was fun going through every team, seeing what is gonna pan out in the season. See, Daniel agrees with the stands. Let me put that up before people be like, "You're the only one here." See, Daniel says he agrees with the standings. Thank you. All right, cool. Guys, this has been fun. Salute to everybody who's in the chat. Make sure on the way out you leave a like, subscribe to the channel. If you can, follow the Discord. I'm going to be updating it with a lot of Liberty stuff. Anytime they report stuff about the Liberty, I put it in the Liberty section. Things about other teams will go in the around the W section. There's a chat there, a room there to discuss. You could talk about anything in there. I'll respond pretty quickly because I get those notifications to the phone. But this was fun. We're gonna probably do it again closer to the end of training camp. The season starts May 14th. They have to make final cuts by May 13th. So probably that May 13th night. Depending on what day that is. I don't got the calendar in front of me. We'll take a look at it and see who actually makes the teams, and then we can reevaluate we can compare and contrast our standings or our roster selections, and then we can figure out the standings again from there. Again, I probably will be doing a watch along on Friday for the first preseason game of the W season. Indiana at Dallas, I believe the game is. Just make sure your Noti Bells is on. I'm gonna make an event for it if it's definitely gonna be on League Pass. Because last year, if you know, a lot of the games were not on League Pass, but hopefully the W fixed up their issues here. All right. That's been it. It's about, I think we've been on stream for about 2 hours. Yeah, exactly 2 hours at this point. Appreciate you all. I got nothing else to say. RC, Daniel, thanks for working out this thing with me. I'll catch y'all on the next time. Until the next time, Enjoy the game. I'm going to go watch the Miami game. I hope they're not getting smacked right now, but we shall see. All right, y'all. Salute.